All right. Good evening, beautiful souls. Can you guys hear me okay on both Instagram and on YouTube? If I keep looking back and forth, that's because I have two cameras here, one for YouTube and another one for Instagram. Let's come in, let's join. Beautiful. All right. So I'm making this live to talk about this journey, which I'm calling Living in the Fifth Dimension. And before anything, and while we give a few extra minutes, I'm gonna do an exercise here just to tune in with the energy, tune in with my center, and then also tune in with your energy that is watching it now. So I will invite you to breathe in deeply with myself and breathe out. And I'm gonna invoke now the Taurus around myself. I'm visualizing the Taurus around myself to connect with my center, align with my center, connect with my heart energy, and activate my throat chakra so I can speak from my heart and direct that energy with my throat chakra. And as the Taurus expand, it connects and goes to your field, to your home, and I bring that energy back so I can be with you right now. There are some known faces here and some unknown faces, so I will start just presenting myself and talking a little bit about myself. My name is Myra Sardu. Um, I'm a father and a husband. I'm a father of two beautiful uh, girls. Um, I'm living currently in Stansbury Park, close to Salt Lake City, Utah, in the United States. I'm a mechanical engineer, and my hobby for the past 10 years was really dive into the spirituality. Uh, my spiritual path began, I want to say, with 5 years old when I was around my mother. She's a very intuitive person. Oops, I lost Instagram here. Here you go. I'm back. Yeah. So it started, it's reconnecting. Yeah, I'm back. It started with my mother when I was 5 years old. She's a very intuitive person, and she was in a religion called Spiritism. So I was used to channeling and those type of things. But my own journey started with around 20 years, where uh, I got eager for knowledge, eager to know more about myself and to know more about the universe. So I joined the Rosicrucian school. I started taking plant medicine, and I was drinking from many different sources. I did Reiki course, I did Lemurian chants course. I was involved with Cryon events in Brazil. I was uh, really diving and looking for a source of knowledge, for tools to connect with myself better. And then last year, there was a big shift for myself. I was in a planetary activation with Matias De Stefano in Egypt. And since then, my spiritual path accelerated a lot. So I felt like in those 10 years, I was growing in a linear way. And then since last year, and even a little before that, it got in a exponential curve. And it is amazing the amount of keys that I unlock in the past years. And that is one of the reasons that I'm here today. So that's just a brief introduction about myself if you didn't know me before. And I'll talk about the motivation as well, just because I want to thank a lot of people. But first off, I'm here because it was a call from my soul to be here and to speak my truth. Nowadays, I'm a Akashic record reader, and now I understand why I was so afraid to speak up my truth. Like I was killed and I died in so many horrible ways because of speaking my truth in the spiritual world, and I had to heal all of that to be here, talking my truth, to speak my truth without the fear of judgment. So for me, it was a journey to heal that. So the first motivation was really like a call from my soul. As I am an Akashic reader, many clients also asked me to kind of explain more about the beings that I interact with during the Akashic records. So, who are the ascended masters? Who are the star beings? And how all of that work? So, that was another great motivation for me to be here. And probably the strongest motivation is my friends, are my friends. Yeah, I have many beautiful friends, many here, uh, that encourage me to be here, encourage me to speak my truth and share my journey because I have helped them just sharing what I know, sharing the keys I brought to myself. So I shout for my friends. I shout for Nach and Guy. I see Pablo. Yeah, house. So thank you all. Yeah, a lot of strength, a lot of courage to be here. And and it's funny how the universe and the synchronicity works because past three Akashic records that I exchanged with other readers, it is a common practice between readers to exchange readings. I received the same message that was in different ways. In one was that one of my mission is to bring the truth back on earth. The other one was I should connect with the gifts and deliver to people. And then a friend of mine just last week, she had an amazing dream that confirmed what I'm doing here today. I see you there, Katia. She dreamed that I was on the top of a mountain with a big chest, and I had a dolphin being behind me to start with. Look at that dream. And I was opening that chest and delivering gifts to people. And it's beautiful how the synchronicities align and the confirmation came to me. So I feel it is the proper time. It is the proper time. It is the proper time to be here, to share my journey, and to share some of the keys that helped my journey, and they may help your journey as well. Now let's talk a bit more about the journey. I have some notes here just so I don't lose myself. So living in the fifth dimension. So this statement, it is complex and it is a paradox at the same time. I won't unfold everything in this statement because of course you need to be in the journey, but I'll give you pieces. And let's dive into that. So the earth is changing. The earth is changing. It is evolving. And Mother Gaia is a live being. We are Mother Gaia. We are a piece of that huge and complex being. The being is evolving despite of what we do. Uh, so despite of your decision, the earth is changing and evolving. You might as well change and evolve with it because the frequency is changing. And this is beautiful because we as humanity and as old souls, we waited many thousands of years for this moment, not just us, but also our star brothers and sisters. and they're watching us now. Like, man, this is the best show we could be watching, and we can help you guys because we have been there. We already went through the planetary shift. Now, let me pause. Some people are super familiar with that, and for some, it may be like a shocking new truth. So, let me pause with this statement and let's unfold more of what entails to get there, to get living in the. I'll always do this because there's a lot into that statement. But what else does it entail? And what do I intend to do with this journey? So, if we're teaching a multidimensional content, for me, it makes a lot of sense to do it one from a coherent place, so aligned with my truth. It does make a lot of sense to exercise both the female and the male energy, and it makes a lot of sense to mimic the creator. So, what do I mean by mimicking the creator? This is a concept explained by sacred geometry, and the creator divided itself in multiple aspects, many layers until we got here in 3D. So this journey starts first understanding some fundamentals, altered state of mind, the dream world. But once you have the basics, the next step is understanding the hermetic principles, the universal laws. And then everything that I'm going to unfold in that journey will be based on hermetic principles. Because as within, so without, as above, so below. Once we understand the seven laws, we apply that everywhere for everything, and it becomes more natural, more intuitive. I and that's when you lose yourself. The answer is inside. So the intent of this journey is not give you like a lot of rational information. I would miss the point if I would do that. The intent here is to prepare the vessel, and by vessel you can understand your mental construct. So I'm going to prepare the vessel so you can receive the energy and experience the energy in your own way. The universe is so loving, it is so compassionate, so beautiful, that he created an individual system for every single one of us. And my intent, sharing my journey, is just to trigger that inside of you so you can find your own truth and you can find your own perspective of things. So, for all of the knowledge, all of the content that we're going to go through, we're going to present a concept, give references because some people may want to go, to a certain level. Some people may want to go much deeper. So that will be another beauty of this journey. People within different backgrounds can experience that journey in different levels. But as we're gonna do that from the center to the whole, and then from the whole to the center, spirit recognizes. Your spirit will recognize. So it is not about learning. It is about remembering. It is about remembering. It is about remembering. So, hermetic principles, we're gonna dive into that and correlate. I love to make correlations. And I'm gonna use some of the experiences I had, especially with plant medicine, especially with Mama Aya, and with the Akashic Records. Those are powerful tools that taught me so much, so much, so much. I have experiences in ceremonies with Mamaya that I left there Man, I'm so grateful. I learned enough. I learned so much in this night. It felt like a lifetime. Not seeing you guys know that. I have shared a lot with you. But I received so many keys, and I will introduce those keys as we talk about those concepts because they help me and they may help you as well. As we finish talking about Hermetic principles and we keep applying them, that's the other thing. I'm a practical person. I do love to study, but if the knowledge is not applicable, I just move on. So everything that I want to pass on in this journey, in my perspective, it is applicable. And I hope to apply. I hope you apply everything that I share in this journey. So that is a big chunk. Okay, and then we start understanding Hermetic principles. We start relating that with our bodies. And then another key there, as we think, so without. Sometimes understanding what is outside us is very complicated, but then if you look back to our bodies, the energetic body, the chakras, we can learn a lot. So we learn from within and we apply outside. That is a magical key. So we're going to make relationships or relations between Hermetic principles, the different bodies we have, the subtle bodies, the energetic bodies, and the chakras. Mixing this content, we can apply that everywhere else. And then once we understand that, okay, we are in 3D, we're in 4th D in some degree as well for the people that use or deal with energetic work or deal with plant medicine or Akashic records. You may be used with the 4th dimension, and you're gonna use the 4th dimension to anchor and bring information from the 5th. And that's where we start talking about psychic defense, because as we travel, we learn how to travel back and forth of the 3rd and the 4th. We do need to learn how to protect ourselves because we live still in a dense world. You may perceive that in your work or in, I don't know, try to get like a busy bus or get in a bank somewhere downtown in your city, depending on where you're living. Or you can imagine, like, I don't know, a bigger city for the US, I don't know, New York or Chicago. If you're in Brazil, maybe in Rio or even São Paulo, like getting a bank there, it can be stressful. You can feel the energy. So first thing is to be coherent, understanding psychic defense, and we're going to spend some time there just to prepare you for journeys. And that is another chunk of the journey. And then, okay, as you prepare your vessel, you understand Hermetic principles, you know to apply Hermetic principles, you understand your different body levels, your energetic levels, and you know how to protect yourself. Then we can start asking for help. And help and support was never so available. It is much easier to access those places, access those states of mind with help. Help from who? Help from your guides, help from ascended masters, help from the star beings. So it is a big journey until we get there. But then understanding those energies help us a lot. And guess what? For every single one of us, for every being incarnated on earth, there is an army behind us. And that is the beauty of the journey. As you go deeper and deeper in yourself, you know more about yourself, and you know more about those beings that are with you all the time. You know, we we need some sensibility, some intuition to perceive those energies. And then once you start asking for them to talk to us, to bring their help, their support, their love, we start unfolding more knowledge. We start unfolding more wisdom. We start connecting with pieces and aspects of us that was not seen before, because they can see from an outer perspective. And then what does that entail? So that entails speaking about the different vibration of those beings. So how do I connect with my guardians? How do I connect with my guides? How do I connect with ascended masters? How do I connect with star brothers and sisters? And every level of those, we're gonna introduce many of them. For example, when talking about ascended masters, we're gonna talk a lot about the Great White Brotherhood, the different race, the different masters, the aspects that each one of them represent. So you can experience your own journey with the rays and with the masters and find what works better for you. Oh, I experienced the guardians, I experienced the guides. Now I know the seven masters. Oh, I connect more with this one, but I also like to use this one for something else. What do we mean by like using different guides for something else? Aren't they like just loving beings and ascended? Yes, but think like that. You want to fix your light, you know, and then you have a plumber that is a very good friend of yours. And then you call the plumber, hey plumber, can you fix my light? And say, well, I mean, I can do it. I mean, I can do my best, but I'm not an electrician. And then there's an electrician right there. So as you understand, these analogies to represent like the guides, the different guides, and even the different ascended masters. As you recognize those energies, you can anchor different energies for different aspects of your life. And that is very powerful. That is very powerful. That is very powerful. And one could ask me, Myron, why not just connecting with your higher self or with God for everything? And we're gonna unfold more of this in the course. And of course, you can. But do you have that strong connection all the time? The goal is to get there, but to get there, there is help available. And imagine like two very different vibrations. It is harder, to make this jump, but you can connect with energies in between, between 3D and a higher dimension where is your higher self. You can use those different guides with different aspects to teach and to help you with different things. What is the goal? What is the the arrival? I mean, or the end of the journey. Actually, there is no end because we can think of that as a torus or as a circle. A torus is better. If you don't know what is a torus, it's like a donut. Or if you have the eight, you just translate the eight. It's like a 360 degrees, and you have the torus. So we're going from the center. We're going to know those guides, understand the multiple levels they are, and what is the end? It is yourself in a different layer, in a different dimension, in a different density. You see how everything is connected, and then we go back to the first or to one of the principles. As within, so without. We make this journey to go back to the center. It is always a journey to the center. We go from the creator to the whole, and from the whole to the center. So everything that I'm going to pass on in this course follows that principle. Why? Because that's an universal principle. And once we recognize that in life, in nature, in our relationships, in our seek, we start seeing life from a different perspective, from a higher perspective. And from that perspective, you can shape your reality. You can understand what is your essence, what your soul is asking you to do, and you're gonna feel home. We talked about the guides, the masters, and then we will dive into the dimensions. And then an important thing here is to understand that one, everything that I'm speaking, it is just my own perspective. You may have yours. I encourage you to have yours. Uh, my perspective is made by everything that I studied and especially everything that I experienced. For me, that is the most important to share what I had experienced. And it is also important to remember that everything, when we're talking about energetic models, energetic systems, they are models. They are just a perspective. So when you're talking about chakras, layer of bodies and dimensions, it is a perspective. Some human translate that multidimensional information with his or her pineal gland. So having that higher perspective entails to understand that on higher dimensions, everything is just a perspective. There is no, there's not a singular truth. It is one truth seen from different perspectives. And with that in mind, we can dive into two very interesting topics: the Merkaba, that's one of my favorite topics, and the Akashic Records. So, we're going to apply Hermetic principles to understand a bit of sacred geometry, and then we're going to apply that. And the main application, per se, is the Merkaba. It is to connect ourselves with our, to connect with our, to connect ourselves to our higher self, down and up, maintaining that coherence so we can manifest our higher self and our spiritual gifts in life on earth. And that goes back to what I was telling in the beginning of the earth evolving. Now it is the time to manifest heaven on earth. So that connection with your higher self will just awaken you, awaken your gifts, awaken your lineage, awake your higher dimension. So we give you a different perspective. And of course, the Akashic Records. We're gonna dive into that topic as well and understand more how that affects us, how the Akashic Records, especially the Akashic Record of the Earth, is being healed and cleaned in a way that we have a high vibrational planet. So everything is changing, everything is evolving, everything is moving. Impermanence is a constant of the universe. The universe is always in movement. And being connected with our truth allow us to flow with the universe. So those are some of the topics that we're going to dive in, and I'll touch on the more on the 3D perspective of it, how we're going to handle that. So the journey will be stored in Hotmart, and it's going to be a 6-month journey using the portals of time. So 2 days ago we have the equinox, and now we're planting the seeds. I'm planting this seed of co-creation, of enlightenment, and I invite you to get that seed and plant that with me. So during those 6 months, I'm going to be recording weekly videos in the Hotmart, uh, unfolding those aspects and those topics that I briefly touch. And every week we're going to have an exercise because the intent is not to give you just hard knowledge. It is to make you experience your own truth, your own journey with those topics. So there'll be a lot of homework, and homework will be maybe doing a meditation, an activation, a guided meditation or activation, and things related to that. We're going to talk about artifacts and how to consecrate that, how to bring that to the 3D. And I'll try to keep the videos between 30 and 60 minutes because we can go really deep in those aspects. And I want to make something digestible. Digestible is the word. But that's why it needs to be long, because then you can receive concepts and go and dive into them and experience them, and then another concept and you dive into them, and another concept and you dive into them, always applying the previous topic or the previous knowledge. Everything just sums up. Just sums up. Mm. Oh yeah, and I'll be recording those classes in English with legend in Portuguese. This live, I still don't know how to do automatic legends. Maybe in the future I'll be able to do it, but uh, the base course will be in English, but I'll have legends in Portuguese for everything. What is the one thing each of us can do today to better flow with the universe? Great question and great timing, my friend. The one thing you can do better to flow with the universe is staying in coherence. What is to stay in coherence? It is really remember who you are, align with that truth, understand that you are more than this persona that you're playing. And as you start connecting with that higher aspect of yourself, naturally, naturally, you start making different decisions, more coherent decisions. That journey keeps going. Being coherent have multiple layers. You may start changing what you eat, what you watch, what you think, and that will change people around you. The movement is going inward, but as within, so without. As you change inside, you instantly see changes outside. If you guys have more questions, bring them up. Nice. Okay, just going through the comments here and seeing if I have more questions. Yeah. So honestly, that is the one thing that you can do to make the universe better. Be coherent. Everything else will line up better after that. That is an exercise. You know, takes practice, but every choice, every action is an opportunity to exercise that, being coherent. Remind us what the I am is. Absolutely. Absolutely. Perfect. I left, oh yeah, some more practical announcements. The journey will start on the first week of April, and the subscription or the assignment is open. So you can go. I left the link here on the description of this video. You can go there and sign up for it. If you connect, you resonate with this invite, and then on the week of the third, I will start posting videos. So if you go access the platform now, there will be nothing there. But on the week of the fifth, I will start posting videos. And it's funny, um, when I did a reading for the course when I was putting all of those topics together, and then one I asked about the guys that would be kind of helping with the course, helping with the content, helping with the energetic field that would create. And I also asked about the topics, kind of had an honest conversation with the guides, and they also mentioned that I would be working as a messenger. That once we close this group, there will be access and experiences for the group. So a piece of this journey is to allow the intuition to guide. So I mentioned many topics, and if other topics uh, come up, we're going to introduce them as well. We will have a discussion or a Telegram group for questions, for discussions, for sharing our inner journeys, because that helps. As you see from someone else's perspective, you can receive a key for you. And regarding announcements, that's it. I think I answered all of the questions. Yeah, the the signing up is open in the description, and we start on the first week of April. I appreciate everyone's time, everyone's attendance here, and I invite you into this journey home. Have a good night.